You lost it. You don't get it anymore.
Oh my God. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. The beauty of your smile, the beauty of you. Sit back, let me tell y'all a lyrical story.
Hello, beautiful people of the DMV. This is the DMV Poet. I really want to welcome you all to another edition of Streams of Consciousness. We have a couple of things we're going to go over before I introduce our guest. I'm not sure who saw the promotion we were doing on Facebook and on Twitter, but I have a very special person here in the audience, in the seat with me today. Sorry. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a couple of things. And I'm sure I'm going to get his opinion on it later, but I really have to say this. I'm sure most of you are aware, since the last episode of Streams of Consciousness, there was a track that was played on the radio. Listen, shut up. All right, there was a track that was played on the radio by Big Sean at Hot 97 called Control. And Kendrick Lamar, he did a 16-bar verse that was, it seems to be revered by the world as one of the best verses of 2013. But as a writer and as an artist, myself, as a DMV poet, I can tell you, not just as a writer, as an artist, as a hip-hop enthusiast, I can tell you that this verse is nothing but a carbon copy of two things. Previous verses that he released on the album and calling out names that was released by Corrupt.
You're always so controversial.
Now, listen, okay, you know what, forget it. Because this is like my little brother, I'm going to go ahead and introduce him now so we can have this conversation because he's not going to be quiet. All right, this is Demetri Davis. This is the artist that is singing vocals on Rebirth of Isis on the intro track of Streams of Consciousness. He's been heard on another track I have called Inadequacy. Most people that were at the Speakeasy were able to see us do this track together live. He's been somebody that I've been working with in music for 7 years. Since I started taking it seriously and really trying to record, trying to do more stuff, he's been with me, at my side. So, we have a lot of history, we have a lot of good memories. Yeah. So I really wanted to bring him in to celebrate the release of his first EP, Sex Love, whoop whoop. But again, before we get into all that jazz, I really want to talk to everybody about this Kendrick Lamar verse, and I know Demetri has an opinion of it, and I don't
have no opinion about that thing.
I'd love for him to voice it, but basically what I'm saying is, in terms of hip hop, a lot of people in response to this verse, they're saying, the Coliseum fight. This is a gladiator fight. This is a competition. Everybody's in this to win it. Everybody thinks they're the best rapper alive. To be a rapper, you have to. I understand that, but at the same time, I didn't hear a diss. I didn't hear a single diss. I didn't hear a challenge. All I heard was, I'm better than you.
I think it was just a marketing tool.
I agree.
That's all I think.
I agree. Because at the end of the day, you have Kendrick Lamar, who has a multi-million-dollar deal, who is a priority with his record label at Interscope, which is a direct distribution, which is a direct label situation. All the people that he called out, like Pusha T. And I think that's why I feel so personally about it. 'Cause I'm a big Pusha T fan. Shout out to good music. But, it's like you have these artists like B.O.B. That's a true musician, that produces his own music, that plays all types of different instruments in the studio, that does all these different types of things. You have artists like J. Cole, which executive produces his own albums, produces 80% of most of his material. And then you have Kendrick Lamar, who started off in Compton.
And then you have Kendrick Lamar.
And, and the big difference between a lot of these artists is J. Cole, like as he said, Jermaine Cole or J. Cole, he's signed to Roc Nation with Jay-Z. So it's a subsidiary label. He's under a label owned by another artist that's releasing music under the same label. So 9 times out of 10, he's going to be second or third tier on that label. Pusha T is signed to Good Music, which is Kanye West's label through Def Jam. Kanye West has released an album for the last 4 years. He's released 2 or 3. Pusha T has yet to release a single solo effort on Good Music.
Really?
Yeah. God Willing was a press kit. It was like an EP. It had 6 tracks on it.
Where you at, Pusha?
So at the end of the day, he's done mixtapes. But the thing about these subsidiary labels is you come second to the owner, who's another artist.
Right.
So that owner is going to release his material before he releases yours. Right. Because his material is a sure bet, while your material generally is taking a chance. I forgot the boy's name. Kendrick Lamar is signed to Interscope, which is a direct relation to a major label.
How can you forget his name?
Because I'm not a fan. I think anybody that follows me on Twitter or follows me on Facebook, you know I'm not a fan. Man. You know, shout out to Iris Perry, Melinda Bolton, you know, Jay Jameson, Drew Lewis, all these people, Last Born Child, who's changed my life since I've met him 3 weeks ago. He's a poet in Baltimore. He's an amazing guy. You know, Either Poem C. I've been having all these conversations about this verse, and it's just like, I feel a lot of people, and since I'm on online radio, I can say this, a lot of people are dick riders. That's all y'all are. Y'all jump on a bandwagon, and anybody that disagrees with me, please contact me at DMV Poet.
No comment.
But at the end of the day, if you're going to sit here and tell me that this is the best 16 bars in 2013 and Yeezus came out 2 or 3 months ago, you're crazy. If you didn't listen to Yeezus, you're missing out. If Yeezus was too aggressive for you, if that was too alternative, if it was too rock for you, then you're missing out on an amazing lyrical album. Mm-hmm. This dude is talking about things that Kendrick Lamar would never even understand, because he's talking about his life. He's talking about what he's going through. And this is something that touches, and it's relatable. It's something that touches millions of people. And it annoys me that the United States hip-hop fan base cannot appreciate a work of art like Yeezus, but you helm this album by Kendrick Lamar as a classic off of 2 hit albums. Not 2 hit albums, 2 hit singles.
I don't think it's that they can appreciate it. I think people are a little bit over his ego, so they're kind of like, well, whatever at this point.
Well, what do you think this recycled Kanye West verse was? Mm-hmm. How many rappers do you know that comes out and says, I'm better than everybody other than Kanye West?
I mean, everybody does it.
No, tell me who has done it and done it in the fashion of Jay-Z and Kanye West, like those two, other than Kendrick Lamar?
I feel like they all do it. They just do it differently. Biggie did it. Pac did it. Don't they all?
Well, Pac, when he called somebody's name, he actually dissed them. Mm-hmm. When Biggie called somebody's name, he actually dissed them. Yeah. When Corrupt and calling out names, that this verse, a lot of you hip-hop heads, pseudo hip-hop heads that are huge Kendrick Lamar fans don't understand, is that this is basically a reversion, like a remake of a Corrupt song. Mm-hmm. And in that song, he dissed every male in the hip-hop industry. Mm-hmm. He advertly dissed them. He didn't just call out their name and say, I'm better than you. Right. He said, DMX, you bark like a dog, you're going to be my puppy. He actually dissed people. And that's not verbatim. He didn't really say that. But, it was a diss. It was a calling somebody out, you specifically. He didn't just say Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem, Pusha T, and just put them all in one category because it's ridiculous.
Maybe he felt like he was just that good where he didn't have to say anything specific.
Well, what I'll say is your single and your album performance doesn't say that you're that good. And I don't care how many of your fans come at me or come at whoever else trying to tell them that you're that good.
I knew you was going
if you're a Kendrick Lamar fan and you think he's the best lyricist in the game, I challenge you to go buy his first album then. Mm-hmm. His first album is sitting on a storage shelf collecting dust. Mm-hmm. Nobody even wants to discuss his first project. We all want to talk about his second project.
I thought that was his first one.
No, this is his second one. This is his second album.
No, the one that came out before, I thought that was...
That was his first one. But that's what people don't really want to discuss. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about swimming pools and Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe.
That was the first one.
That was the second one.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a... He said, Kayla, did you want to say something? What's up, baby?
He did have a prior album prior to that.
I see.
The second album.
Yeah, but the difference between the first album and the second, and I'll tell you, I'm a hip-hop enthusiast. I heard his first album when it was released.
I love it.
It's a good album.
Okay.
It's lyrical. It's great. Mm-hmm. But the big difference between this album that just came out and the first album is Just Blaze, Hit Boy, The Neptunes, Timbaland, basically hundreds of thousands of dollars, multi-million-dollar production. And you get on this song with Big Sean on Control and say that money doesn't change you. Money did change you to a successful artist. Right. You got a budget from Interscope, and that's something that Pusha T doesn't necessarily have. That's something that Big Crit doesn't have. So for you to challenge them, and they're in a completely different situation than you, and you know that, because you, as a signed artist to a major label, you understand this game of hip-hop is a business.
Right.
This isn't a play, we're on the playground, we're in a sandbox situation. You're not going out to the corner, spitting a hot 16, and getting a major label deal. That's not the situation we're in. Mm-hmm. We're in a situation where a label sees you as a money-making asset. They sign you, and they give you a couple of million to give them a product that they can sell. That's the business we're in. So if you're in a better position than another artist, like Jermaine Cole, who's producing 80% of his own album,
Right.
and you're going to Hit Boy, Just Blaze, and every other big-name producer you can find, that's a big difference. When J. Cole wrote, produced, and does the hook on Crooked Smile, which hit #1, that's a bigger accomplishment than somebody that's getting a hook written by Lady Gaga, a multi-million-dollar beat produced by an international producer called Soundwave, and then you you promote the single by saying Gaga is on the hook, and she's not, and everybody flocks to it anyway.
Yikes.
It's not being so lyrical, and it's not being the best rapper in the game. It's about having money to pay for the things that people want to hear.
I can agree with that.
So that's my Kendrick Lamar rant.
I knew.
You know, I promised Demetri I wasn't going to do 30 minutes. I just did a quick little blurb.
That was about 30.
That wasn't 30. Shut up.
38 seconds.
The show is 45 minutes. Don't try me like that. But at the end of the day, what we're here for is we're here to celebrate. We're here to talk about Demetri Davis. We're here to talk about @RightMindControl on Twitter if you want to get at him. We're here to discuss the concepts, the creation of this press kit, this EP that he put together. And it's amazing R&B. I mean, I've gotten a lot of messages. I mean, I played a couple of your tracks last week, and I've gotten a lot of messages asking me about it. And what I really want to start with is the beginning, not necessarily the beginning of this project, but the beginning of being a vocalist, the beginning of singing.
You want to take it back?
I want you to talk to us about the first time you ever performed live.
You want to make me think?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I know. So if you miss the mark, I'm gonna let you know.
I don't think that this was the first time I performed live, but the first time I actually remember being in front of a lot of people and being like, "Oh, this is what I want to do." I used to sing in the church choir at VWAC, Victory War Outreach Christian Center, and I was in the youth choir. And my mom wanted me to sing A Whole New World for her wedding. And I had a little crush on the choir director, so I got her to sing with me, and we sung A Whole New World at my mom's wedding. And you know, it felt like this is me. This is what I need to be doing. So,
How old were you?
I don't know, like 7.
And we're talking about 7 years old singing at a professional gig. I mean, I would like to think that at weddings, those people would pay somebody to come sing.
No, I didn't get paid.
You didn't get paid. That's okay. I'm pretty sure you got some graham crackers or something at 7. But, you know, I mean, did your parents support your talent at that early?
Very much so.
Wait, do you remember singing younger than 7?
Yeah. My mom, we would be in the car and she would sing "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," and we would do rounds and just, you know how rounds are.
Yeah.
Okay. We would do that. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I mean, so let's talk about the progression. Like, when did you really start seeing that singing or recording would be like a actual viable revenue stream for you personally?
Well, the first time I actually recorded anything, I was with my cousin Ramon, and he had like the whole setup, the Pro Tools, everything, and he wanted to do stuff and record it, try and get out to people. We actually sent a couple tracks to Tank because I think they went to the same church as Tank's mom. So we would record different things, and he would give it to her. I don't know if it ever got to Tank, but. Yeah, so
I mean, it happens like that.
That was like, okay, I like recording. I'm pretty good at it. So.
All right, so I mean, a lot of people. I'm pretty sure you guys know that this is a close friend of mine. I've kind of mentioned him a lot on Streams of Consciousness. I play a lot of his music. why don't you tell the audience? Why don't you talk to them about the first time we went in the studio together? Like the first, like I don't, honestly, and I'm gonna be keep it 100 right here. I'm gonna keep it 100%. I really do not record. I don't remember the first song that we recorded in the studio. I just remember
it was Turn Off the Lights.
It was That was the first song we did. I don't know. I remember us doing different stuff like at my parents' house.
That wasn't the first thing we recorded.
I think I want to say the first thing. I don't know. Let me stop the line. But let's just say that. Let's just start at Turn Off the Lights.
I feel like it might have been to you.
Yeah, I think it was to you.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Zachary Avent. He actually gave me a beat for a spoken word piece. I've actually done it on the show before. It's called To You, and it's fully produced, fully recorded with Demetri on the melody and me on the spoken word piece. And I really do think that was the first one. You know, shout out to the Dice too. LJ, you know, at the Dice on Twitter. That's my homie.
Times.
You know, he's hilarious. I mean, but you know, it's great to have Demetri on the show just because it's great to, you know, backtrack through everything and just go through the motions, everything that we've been working on. Like he said, he mentioned Turn Off the Lights. I met a guy named Tony Brooks, and he's actually a member of Melvin and the Blue Notes, which is where Teddy Pendergrass kind of started. And they do a lot of different tours around the world, and they approached me to try to work on a remake of Turn Off the Lights so they can do in homage to Teddy Pendergrass. And we kind of worked on that with the Antidote in Northeast, which is an amazing time. Shout out to Alex and Sterling Green. You can find them on my Facebook page and on my Twitter. Amazing musicians. We a lot of long nights. Yeah, and
which is actually funny because when we did that, I was supposed to be rewriting it for myself and a girl. And
and that kind of didn't work out.
I'm really picky. I'm really picky about who I work with. So
we kind of cut the girl part out, and we let Demetri just kind of take it up an octave and take the second verse. Right. I mean, one of the reasons why I really want to have Demetri on the show is just artistry. I got questioned a little bit about, you know, what does Demetri Davis have to do with spoken word? Why are you playing his music during the show? That's not spoken word, and it's because I'm tight. But I mean, at the end of the day, in my journey in recording and spoken word, anybody that's familiar with my music, I do a lot of fusion with R&B, soul, gospel, go-go, rap, hip-hop. And the main thing that I explain to people is I have a preference. I have a preference in vocals. There is a gospel vocal that I cannot stand. Like, I can't hear it. I don't want to listen to it. If somebody gives it to me, I'm going to tell them that they're not talented. They need to go home. But, you know, other people will live for them. Will roll around on the floor and just be like, oh, my God, that's amazing. I mean, you know, but there's certain types of vocal. You know, everybody has a preference. You know, I love a gospel song, but there's just a certain gospel run I can't get into. Right. And I watch Sunday's Best, and I almost can tell you which ones do those runs because it sounds lazy and it just sounds like this is all I can do, so I'm going to go up and I'm going to go down and I'm going to go to the next verse. I don't really get into that. And there are a lot of, like, when it comes to male vocalists, the inspiration generally is gospel. Right. And I'm very picky as Demetri in terms of male vocals. Right. And I prefer Demetri's male vocal over a lot of other male vocals.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. No problem. And, you know, I mean, anybody that's heard, you know, the music that we played last week of Demetri Davis, you know, I mean, it's just almost like reminiscent of like a genre that doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's almost like hearing he doesn't really sound like Marvin Gaye, but it's almost like hearing a Marvin Gaye song that was created in 2013. Like, it gives you the feeling vocally of like Blurred Lines does production wise, like composition wise. Like, Blurred Lines gives me nostalgic in terms of the production and the arrangement of the song.
Old school feel.
Yeah, and you know, and that's one thing that Demetri Davis's vocal gives me is it gives me almost a insight into a art form that has long passed.
Well, I think the thing that a lot of artists miss is when you go into the studio or when you're trying to make music, just be yourself, be who you want to be, and a lot of times that comes across better than, you know, trying to do what people tell you that you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, the pop and everything else. I mean, I can do that if I want to, but that's not who I am. So,
but that's just like, what the mainstream industry kind of churns out year by year.
Right.
It's kind of like a more and more diluted version
exactly.
of one person.
Right.
Like, everybody wants to be Beyonce. Everybody wants to be Chris
or
Brown.
Michael,
or Michael.
Right.
And all they do is they just water it down a little bit.
Right.
Okay, you can't do this run, so we're going to make it a little bit easier
Right.
for you to do. And I think we all remember the Ashanti era. And I love me some Ashanti. I loved Ashanti. But at the end of the day, when it came down to it, anybody can sing an Ashanti song.
Right.
And I know people are going to be mad at me, but anybody can sing a Rihanna song. Like, it's written and structured. I'm sorry.
Not Rihanna.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rihanna, I'm sorry.
Rihanna.
I'm sorry.
Not Rihanna.
I heard Lil Mo give
Evolve.
me a Rihanna vocal.
Rihanna goes in,
And
though.
Lil
I
Mo
mean, secretly, like, it's
gave
real
me
secret.
over.
It's like,
I mean, real secret slight,
She's
because
grown in the last couple of years.
I mean, she has grown, and I think that's also a contributing of a vocal coach. But at the end of the day, like, she doesn't. Even when I hear her giving me more than what she normally gives me,
I
she's
can't
not
agree
giving
with you
me
on that one.
an amazing vocal.
I can't agree with you on that one. I
And-
mean, she's not the best singer in the world, but I can listen to a Rihanna song and feel something. Like, I'm like, okay, I know what she was going through, or I know whoever wrote that for her was going through, and she puts that in it. I've always been a Rihanna fan. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of vocalist, though, it's just like, I mean, like I said, I compare it to a modern day Ashanti. Like, Ashanti had a vocal that fit on the music that she was producing. But, as of late, I've heard Ashanti give me a Whitney Houston song, and I was impressed for Ashanti to sing that song like that live.
I would throw that mess in the
So,
trash.
I mean,
Don't even do that.
At the same time, a lot
Whitney
of vocal
Houston
training
songs.
and
What?
vocal coaches goes a long way. But,
Can we play that? Can
I don't
get
think
that?
we have
Can
it on
can
deck.
cue
If
that?
you want to come next week, I got you. I can find it.
I know.
I'll get it.
I know you will.
And anybody follow me on Twitter
Like,
or
can we cue that
Facebook.
now?
I will
Can I hear
post
that?
it. I will post it. But,
I want to see.
I want to talk about this EP. Because, I mean, I wasn't really involved in this recording process or writing or production or like anything.
Oh, no. Do you feel some kind of way?
I don't, because
Okay.
I've been working on stuff that Demetri's not involved in either. So, it
fine.
happens like that. That's how we do it sometimes.
Yeah.
But, just because I wasn't there, I'd love to hear about just the process
Right.
of how you were putting together songs. I know we're getting ready to play Love Drug. I'm going to play that again for everybody. And I really wanted to get kind of an insight on, what it was like arranging and writing and putting everything together.
Well, you know what? I started writing Love Drug in the shower. I was taking a shower one day, and my friend Ian Warren, shout out to Young Warren Entertainment, he had gave me a couple beats, and I listened to that one. I was like, I love that. And so I was in the shower one day, and I started singing it. And I came up with the first couple lines, and I have a couple people that I work with, so I took what I had and I took it to my friend Antonio. And he was like, I love that. And he just started writing. So I wrote the first half of it, and he wrote the second half. And when we put them both together, it was just like, it mixed so well that it was like, we gotta record it.
Okay. Okay. So what's the song about? Because I know just listening to it, you can get one perception, but I'd love to hear from a writer's perspective, like what it was actually about.
It is, Love Drug it's a part of, it's like another part of Addicted. I know you played Addicted last week too. It's like, it's about just being so into somebody that's really all you think about. Like, you kind of get engulfed into that. Like, it's just, you can't get away from it no matter how hard you try. It's like a drug. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's cue it up. Let's hear Love Drug one more time. We had a great explanation. I mean, let's just groove with it real quick.
Your love, my flashing on the taste buds.
Are you?
What room is this?
1306.
I'll dig deep, even when my sister's
Sorry, man.
once more, baby. Feel sweet, snows are raining down on your pearl. I want you, ride, baby, hang
I mean, everyone has a different.
and then you feel the secrets nicely.
You gotta share the common area.
Can't you see your one night theme, baby? We go there, and ooh, you're getting wet so quickly. This ain't no ordinary piping. I promise you'll go there. Ooh. Your sex is my drug. Your sex, my drug. Oh, no, 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 no. Another spaceship. Got me feeling like oh, 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 oh. Hey. You got me feeling like
All right, that was Love Drug with Demetri Davis.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go a little deep into this track.
Okay.
What's the purpose behind it? I mean, I watched a documentary the other day, and Marvin Gaye, he said while he was recording the Sexual Healing album, he said that he was writing these aggressive ballads to make people want to fall in love, and that was the purpose behind that project. I wanted to make people want to feel those feelings that I sang about. Like, what would be the purpose behind songs like Love Drug for Demetri Davis?
Oh, okay. I can explain this for the whole EP. I was in a on and off relationship for about 2 years, and pretty much the whole EP is about that one person.
Oh,
Yeah, so it just and they know it's like it's just I wanted to make people feel what I felt. As far as, like I said before, being addicted to somebody, it can get real.
Yeah.
Like, it can get really real.
yeah, and it's a completely different emotion. I mean, because it's like, I wrote Rebirth of Isis for a specific purpose. I was in love at the time I wrote it, and I wanted everybody else to bask in the glory of my love. And I would describe it and talk about it and go into deep detail, and I can get that from a lot of the music, is that you were describing a specific situation and you wanted people to feel what you were feeling at that moment. Yeah, so I mean, what is that feeling?
Well, Sex Drug was the better part of that feeling. The sex was amazing, and I wanted to put that in the song, and that's what happened. Like, that's what came out of it when I thought about it. It was just like a very nostalgic feeling. In the song, I say, is that another spaceship? And what I meant by that was, I am really dumb high off of this. Like, that's what it means. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like,
It makes sense. I think everybody can relate to that. What's your favorite song off the press kit?
it's actually one that I didn't go into the studio record. It's called Number One Fan, and I think that's my favorite one, just because of the way I arranged it and did the vocals and everything. I actually did it on GarageBand on my iPhone.
Okay. You did the whole thing on Garage?
Yeah. Well, I used to sing with a band, and one day we were just playing around, and keyboardist started playing, and I was like, let me record that. So, shout out to Bennett. I recorded it, and I went home and I looped it and I started writing. And
that's where
Yeah.
it was birthed.
yeah,
Okay. All right, so we're going to get away from the EP a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to take it back a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to take it back to Rebirth of Isis.
Okay.
I want you to describe, because I don't think I've ever asked you this, or I've even heard this response, but describe to me what was it like recording that song? Like from start to finish, like how, like what did you feel? Were you apprehensive? Was it something you weren't sure about? Was it something you were sure about? Like,
honestly, at first I wasn't sure about it. I think I fell in love with it the more we did it and worked with it. But when you first brought it to me, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this.
I mean, I think just to give people some insight, I brought the song to him as me saying the beauty of your smile, the beauty of you,
Right.
the beauty of your smile, over and over and over
Right.
again, and then I had the verses.
And I was kind of
kinda
just
put
like,
together.
what is this man talking about?
But, my vision was just to integrate, vocals throughout the song to kind of bring it up to, because the beat is very warm. It's very
Right.
summer, springtime.
But that
very
was
happy.
closer to the beginning
Yeah.
of our musical relationship.
Yeah.
And I think as we progressed, it became a little bit easier for me to understand where you were coming from.
Yeah.
And so
Yes, I mean,
yeah.
I get a lot of I can't work with a lot of people.
Me either.
And
Yeah.
it's not more so because I have a difficult personality, which I do, but it's more, the reasoning is more based around the fact that my process is a lot different from a
Right,
lot of people's
right.
process. So I would have to write the song and then construct the production and the composition around
Right.
what I wrote. And a lot of producers don't feel comfortable with that.
Right.
So, a lot of times...
I remember.
Yeah, and and it works the same way in terms of vocalists. Like when I need a demo or I just need something sang for me, it's hard to get the demo from a lot of different people
You used to bring me different songs that you would write, and you'd be like, "I want you to sing this." Now, mind you, I'm a very pitch concerned person, so you would sing them to me, and I'll be like, "How am I supposed to sing this?
Yeah,
like,
I
what
can't
is he
sing.
singing?"
Yeah, I can't sing.
I would. Sometimes I would have to rewrite it, and I feel like, didn't you start taking vocal lessons? or
Yeah, I've been
something?
taking vocal lessons for like 4 months.
So
now.
it became a little bit easier for me to understand what you were, trying to do. And
Yeah, I
that helped. Shout out to those vocal lessons.
Darnell, thank you so much. But overall, the recording process, and that's one of the beautiful things about having Demetri on the show with me today, is just sending a message out to all the artists out there that are working on their project or their dream. It happens. It takes time,
And it's hard. It's freaking
hard as hell.
Yeah.
and you're gonna get a lot of that's not gonna work. That's not good. There's no lane for spoken word in hip hop. You're gonna get a lot of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're gonna find a person that's like, hey, I like that. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I've worked with 3-4 studios. I've worked, over the years, actually more than that. Some of them fully put together, luxurious couches,
Right.
vending machines, anything you could want, and others that are in an apartment in Oxon Hill in a closet. I've worked in so many different situations recording music, and one thing that I've learned is it's much more about the person you're working with than it is the environment that you're in.
I actually started to quit a couple times when I was working on Sex Love. It got so frustrating. And the people that were around me were like, heck no, you can't quit. Get back in there and record. And I'd just be like, ugh, okay.
I mean, it's good to have people around you that understand your dream and understand your journey and your mission.
Right.
It's interesting just thinking about our journey together.
Right.
I mean, we've put together a lot of material that some of it's fallen to the wayside. Some of it we still have. Some of it, we can do nothing with. And I know, like Demetri's a big part of my project, Heart and Mind of a Gemini. He's been there since I thought of the title, and he's been there since I've been putting it together 10 years ago. So now, not 10, 7. But now it's a great time to just reflect. I mean, I'm just shout out to my audience. I'm coming to the end of the Heart and Mind of a Gemini era. It will be done. It will be done shortly. It will be fully released and produced. It's been a long journey, and I'm proud that Demetri Davis is still going to be a part of that. We're going to get into the next track from Sex Love. Demetri, tell us a little bit about it. Just give us a little short intro.
Okay. Well, I didn't write any of this. Actually, the person, my writer, Antonio Singletary, he wrote the whole thing. And when he brought it to me, my producer, Young Warren, he had this track and it was like rock and roll, and I was like, okay, I want to make sure I do something different. I want to show people that I can do anything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I can't write to this. So I gave it to Tony. Tony wrote to it. He brought it back and he was like, I want you to sing it really dark, like really gloomy. And I was like, well, I don't really sing like that. And he was like, but you got to try. Yeah. So he was actually he didn't like the final product, but yeah, he didn't like it because he felt like I didn't sing it like gloomy and whatever else. Yeah. And I was just like, well, I've never been strung out on drugs, so
I can't reflect.
I don't really know it. So
right,
I kind of I had to pull from what I did know as far as other personal experiences and people I've seen strung out on drugs and alcoholics, and I kind of pulled from that. So.
All right, well, we're going to cue it up. We'll tell you if you sound gloomy and strung out on drugs.
I don't.
After we hit. Let's see.
Yeah, it can get hard sometimes. You don't feel me, though. It won't even hit me till I'm gone.
Oh! Tried to be more driven, chill. She moving fluid for the smell. A couple dollars and no loose emotions. But I ain't got time for all this work. You can't seem to catch me, push off a cliff. So my drink is just catching my thrill. Yeah, I throw my life into someone's house. But unless I'm taking shots, it will never hit me. I throw my life into someone's memory. But unless I'm taking shots, it will never hit me. Most out here to be the traffic stopping, it won't cause I'm popping. Come on, let's talk about it. But you won't make it till you fall, and they won't love you till you die. I want you to sit down on the side when I have some news. For a moment at a time.
Coming back.
All right, y'all couldn't see us. We was rocking out there. I mean, I've always been I've always had an affinity for live music, live instrumentation, rock, alternative. I think one of my favorite songs that you ever recorded was Hot Rock Song. That's like, I still have it on my laptop. That's one of my favorite songs that you wrote. Oh, we don't have that today. Maybe next time you're on, we'll go through some of the older stuff we've done and talk about the progression.
Well, I wanted to say, as far as trying to get that whole gloomy thing, I didn't really understand where he was coming from as far as being strung out and everything else. But as far as having different pains and not really being heard until you fall to the wayside and people are like, oh, that's hot. We've all felt that some kind of way. Yeah. In a way, I did that through this song was by the arrangement. I did arrange it. So like, I don't know if you noticed at the end, it's like opera singers like, ooh,
yeah, I know.
Like, oh, that's me. Like, I was,
that's me.
Right. Well, I'm saying, But I mean, I had to figure out how to put it into the song another kind of way. So
to make
I
more
did it
dramatic.
right. I did it with the the different chords that I was singing and the background and all that different kind of stuff. So I was a music tech major. So we learned how to do that through chords and the way you go about singing it or whatever else.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, because it's always great when you have a song where the instrumentation tells a story,
Right,
and
right.
the lyrics and the singer tell the story,
Right.
and they kind of align parallel. That's
Right.
always like a strong,
Right.
emotional track when everything just kind of fits together.
I mean, I loved it. I did love it. He was, I don't like that. Do it again. Like, no, Tony, I'm not doing it again. Heck no.
All right, now we got a few more minutes. One thing I did want to do, because this is Streams of Consciousness,
Okay.
and this is a spoken word show. I have a couple of new pieces, and I'm gonna read one. It's just
Okay.
it's really short. It's just a couple of bars, and I would love to get your insight on it because these are newer things that I'm just kind of working on.
Okay.
It might show up somewhere recorded. I don't know, but it's not called anything. All right. You left me out in the rain. Now my face is soaking wet. How should I deal with this pain? See, I won't feel any regret. My life is mine and yours is yours. My heart's broken as you ignore my cries and my pleas. You left me out in the rain and I'm sitting all by myself. You have nothing to say, so I gotta blame this all on myself. I played my games and you played yours. It's obvious who won. Of course, it's you. It's you. What do you think of that, Demetri?
I think that you should have brought me that when I was doing Sex Love.
Oh,
And
is that right?
Yeah, and we probably could have.
Oh,
yeah.
whatever. So that's why he didn't call me for Sex Love.
No.
Apparently, I wasn't reaching out to him with
Oh,
material. I'm lying. He actually sent me some stuff to write to. It's not.
I was scared to say, he trying to make me think like I'm the shady one. You're the shady one over there talking about, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Boo Boo LaFoo? Who's that man again?
Everybody doesn't need to know the
What?
DMV poet's true personality. I
Like
mean, I
what?
think everything should just come through the radio. I mean,
Is that me?
that was you. That's what you sound like on the radio.
I
Just
know.
want to let you know.
I know.
All right, but we have a few more minutes. I mean, what do you want to talk about? We got 2 minutes. Let's go.
I mean, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about anything. Let's talk about
Mhm.
R&B.
Okay.
I love R&B.
So, what do you think about this TGT?
I think it's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Tank lending his services to the genre, not necessarily to the individual artist he's working with. Okay.
Oh, we found Whitney. Y'all.
Well, actually, let
Ashanti
me
singing?
run it. We'll actually close out the last
Can
minute
we-
with Ashanti singing Whitney.
Okay, 'cause
I
I need a
want
good
to
laugh.
talk about TGT.
I want a good laugh.
Because, I think a lot of people kind of look at Genuine and Tyrese as lost causes.
Uh-huh.
They're amazing vocalists.
for Tyrese, really?
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese isn't a selling factor anymore. He's not a record pusher. He
Well,
left the industry
yeah.
for too long.
Yeah.
Like any artist, if you leave the recording industry for more than 2 years,
Uh-huh.
it's going to be an uphill battle to get that fan base back.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even know where Tyrese's fan base went. I don't even hear a male vocalist that can match or compete with his actual style of singing. But, he had that song, I don't remember the name of it, with Taraji P. Henson in the video.
In the video, yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing song. And
Yeah.
actually, I bought the album. It was
It
a
was,
great R&B album.
Stay.
You Stay,
Yeah.
yeah. But, Tyrese, he just left the industry too long. And Genuine, same way. After Aaliyah died, he had a hard way to go.
I think they need to kick Genuine out the group.
Oh, just because he had his little
He-
5-hour energy drink.
Well,
spat.
not even that, but like if you watch I think was it the last
They're
video they
listening.
did?
The video.
The last video they did.
He was a little,
He's spinning around.
yeah, spaced
Like
out.
a 12-year-old girl.
Not really there.
And if you look closely at him lip singing, he doesn't know the words. It's bad. It's really bad.
But you also have to think, Genuine has a treasure trove of children, and
What's that
Tank
got to
and
do?
Tyrese don't.
What does that have to do with you not knowing your words?
It has
for this
everything-
music video.
it has everything to do
And
with
why
you.
are you spinning around like a 14-year-old girl? Like what the crap is wrong with you?
It has everything to do
and
with
pop lock. I know he pop lock. He did it.
I mean, he did, but he's a dancer.
I was looking at him like,
he's the vocalist that dances.
But when
He dances.
I was over here pop locking y'all.
But Genuine, you got to understand, Genuine has an amazing voice, but we don't know him for his amazing voice. We know him for his entertaining videos.
And he's a great live performer.
He is.
Yeah, I actually saw him, Tank, and I can't remember the other guy's name, Mays or somebody like that, some third person at Constitution Hall, and Genuine impressed me. Like, I was just like, whoa.
I saw Genuine at the Black Cat during the So Anxious era,
right?
And it was amazing.
That was my jam. I used to be in choir rehearsal, pop lock, talking about myself.
You was dancing with the broom. All right, well, we're going to close out. I really want to say thank y'all for clicking the link. Thank y'all for listening. And have an amazing afternoon in the DMV. It's a beautiful day, beautiful weather.
I'm not endorsing this.
Whatever.
Whitney.
Whatever. It's a tribute. It's a tribute to Whitney.
I'm not endorsing it.